Hey guys, it's Brent and Richard. Hey Richard, what's up?
Buddy.
Hey, and we're here today to talk about world-class wingman. And you got something to say about that today, don't you?
Well, in our conversations about it, you know, you've gotten some correspondence, and some guys are a little concerned about having a wingman because they're having another guy around, right? And so we should talk about that, right? You know, some of the questions have come up, some of the concerns are, you know, what if the girl likes, you know, him instead of, you know, I'm sorry, the wingman instead of him, right?
Yeah.
Or, you know, what if they both like the same girl, right? Or, you know, what if the wingman is better with women than he is, right? Or better looking, etc., right? Or okay, you know, this is great and all, I want a wingman, but what about all my friends are dorks, right? How do I find someone that's already good with women, right?
Yeah, right.
Or, you know, what if my wingman gets a girl and I don't have one? What do? Do I just stand there while he talks to the girl, right? These are all things that come up. You know what I mean? You've got
questions.
Some of these,
yeah.
you know, questions around this stuff. And so, you know, it's shifts. It's internal shifts, right? So in order to be successful, you have to shift your belief systems, right? Because what you've got right now is based on the beliefs you have had, you know, a month ago, 6 months ago, your whole life, right? And so to get different results, you have to create different belief systems that create the foundations for different behaviors, right? And so the first thing I say is, you know, what if the girl likes him instead? You have to realize there's no shortage of hot chicks, right?
Right.
You have to be unattached to the outcome, knowing that your unattachment is the underlying vibe that pulls it all together, right? You have to release the idea of getting attached to one woman. In the program, we're going to talk a lot about that and how to overcome some of those beliefs, you know, that have been holding you back. But it's the belief that's causing the problem, not anything else in reality. It's the attachment itself that's causing the problem, not him being attracted to the same woman, right? It's that scarcity thinking that's going to short-circuit the whole thing. It's that unattachment that is going to draw the women to you, right? So that's the first shift in thinking. Right. You want to say anything about that?
Yeah, well, you know, attachment causes suffering, so it's one of the number one things that is dragging guys down from being successful. And of course, everybody wants to be carefree; they just don't know how. But it's interesting how all these things are playing in the background, and just this whole relationship, interpersonal relationship between you and your buddy, is a whole other thing. We're not even talking about like when you are actually talking to girls. This is just between the two of you. There's so much going on there.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Very important stuff. The other thing is, you know, what if my buddy's better at meeting women than I am? You know, the affirmation is I'll learn and I'll get better by watching him and modeling what he does. It's not a competition, right? If he's better, then there's things to learn, right? And in fact, I'll have a live free coach with me, you know, and releasing the idea of, you know, what if he's better looking? Release the ideas of looks being the only currency, right? We talk about charisma, confidence, charm, and most importantly, like the banter, that comedy, that cocky type comedy is more important than looks, than meeting women, right?
Yeah.
We talk about this in other programs, right? Like the, you know, Silver Tongue Secrets and the Attraction Factor, we talk about that, right? Yeah. It's important to get past that stuff so you can actually release your true gifts, your true potential to meet these women, right? So again, it goes back to the beliefs, right? Yeah. The next thing is, you know, like my friends are dorks. Well, don't let your current friends stop you from taking things to the next level, right? You need to create the space in your mind to allow the possibility of finding someone else outside of your current group, you know, of friends if that's the case, right? Again, being so sure that this won't work for you because you currently have no friends that would be good wingmen is the problem, right? Not the friends. It's being sure that it's not going to work because you don't have the friends. It's the problem, right? And we're going to go into that and delve into that in that program as well. And then, you know, how to create more useful, practical, and more importantly, accurate belief frameworks, you know, to build more empowering beliefs, right, about what's possible.
Yeah. It's powerful, man. You know, guys are always, you know, thinking that if they have a friend who's properly trained or who gets it, right? We call it getting it. If he gets it, you're powerful. I mean, certainly you can go out on your own and you can be very powerful on your own. But you know, most people have a couple buddies, you know, that they know, and they just wish that either someone was good or someone was going to be supportive when they go out instead of this infighting and this cock blocking and all this other stuff that guys go through. So it's fascinating. Another fascinating conversation about this that we're going to really go into in this product. What else do you got for the guys? The
guys, you know, guys will think, what if my buddy finds the girl and then I'm standing there like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then what do, right? So sometimes your buddy will get a girl and they may end up living with her, right away, right? If that happens, keep having fun. It's not a contest. You have to let go of that scarcity element, right? And there's just as much of a chance of him setting you up with a hot girl and you living with her, right? And he's left there alone by himself, right?
Yeah.
He'll be fine. Remember, you're there to have fun, not to get laid, because if your intent, if that's your intent, women can smell it on you, and it'll backfire, right? In the program, we're going to talk about that very issue and how to overcome it.
Well, you're there to have fun, and you're there to support your buddy, and you should be happy for him when he is successful. And I know that that's tough for a lot of guys, and it was certainly tough for us when we first started understanding this, to not think of it as a competition. But once you're happy for your buddy and you're supportive, and you're like, yeah, right on, good for him, kind of like that, and then you just keep having fun without missing a beat, that is sometimes the thing that draws more women to you. Even if you're there standing there alone now, it's big time, rather than, God damn it, I can't believe that, that guy, well, I'm feeling so jealous right now, and you've got this whole thing, and again, now you're starting to get desperate, and you're starting to operate out of scarcity, and you may get a little creepy then, and you see where this is going.
The other thing is that there's a threshold of how much most people's self-esteem, there's a taboo in our culture about bragging about yourself, right? And so even if you're in a good space where you're just feeling like you can only brag about yourself so much before it comes off as arrogant. However, you can brag about your buddy, and you can take that same degree of confidence, and a woman can experience your confidence and that strong masculine presence by you showing your buddy, like, have you met my buddy over here, right? I mean, just giving her all you got. But whereas if it was met head on, like you're talking about yourself, or it would be offensive, but because you are setting your buddy up to win, it is experienced totally different. It's a more accurate, authentic representation of a true confidence, rather than, here, let me show you how cool I am, right? So there's a very, very powerful psychological thing at play where, even though you're setting up your buddy to win, in a way you're setting yourself up to win at the same time too, because you're the one that had the balls to set your buddy to talk, and so in a way, the one you're talking to, in a way, right? I'm talking about here. It's like one who's setting the whole thing up. So in a way, it's like, even if she likes your buddy, it's like you're the guy that had the balls. You're the one who stood in that potential rejection, that discomfort, to make the whole thing happen. So that's also a counterintuitive thing, right?
And I'll tell you that I can remember the first time that it happened to me, and it occurred that it was happening to me because it was so out of left field. One of my buddies, he walked up with me, and instead of doing the thing that most guys do, which is, hey, what's going on? He said, hey, you guys know Brent? Brent is the greatest guy in the world. And I was like taken aback, sort of like, what is he talking about? Like, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard. He's building me up. And so after we had talked to these girls and it had gone really well, when we were off to the bar or whatever, he said, yeah, you know what? I said, thank you. And he said, you know what? It's about building your friends up, not about tearing them down, Brent. And I was like, you know what? That is powerful. And then I started assimilating that because I saw how it worked too, because he was doing that, I started building him up. He would build me up. And when we went out, it was powerful because there was no negativity, no competition, and we had some great nights, and we had super success with women, and it was really something. So.
The thing is that, besides the sheer act of the balls factor of having standing in that and saying confidently, there's also like a magnanimous kind of successful, like, I don't need to brag about myself here. Like, you're not bragging about you're taking this kind of this energy and you're putting on your buddy, which also says it's very counterintuitive how it shows up. It basically is like, I don't need to brag about myself here. I am the shit, and I'm resting in that. Let me show you my buddy over here, right? There's an automatic kind of assumptive kind of mechanism that happens, and you must be a cool ass son of a bitch if you're, you know what I mean? Because you don't need to brag about yourself, because most guys are walking around insecure.
That's right. It's totally next level. It's totally unique. It's totally the opposite of what normal guys do, the average guy, whatever. You will be rewarded for that behavior.
Well, and again, so, in the program, we just want to talk about this stuff because, we're going to talk about body language, how to stand, how to hold your body. We're going to talk about conversational openers, how to set your buddy up to win, and how for him to set you up, the kinds of places to go with your wingman to meet women, the 5 most common situations you find yourself in with your wingman, and exactly how to navigate through each one of them, for maximum chance of success. Because there's, we talk about this, there's 2 guys, 1 girl, there's 2 guys, 2 girls, there's
a lot of situations. Yeah.
Where you go through those, and then like things like what to do when her friends are pulling her away and the groups, and we're going to go through those dynamics, and I think it's going to be awesome. I think guys will find a ton of value in it. And but again, they first have to get past the belief that going out with a buddy is somehow going to be a problem. That there's going to be competition, or there's they need to let that go so they can be open to this exponential potential in their experiences of meeting women out there.
The avalanche.
Literally.
Be ready for the avalanche. Yeah, that's a very good distinction there. Very good point there. Bring it back to the beginning. You have to get over that first part for the second part to really be effective and to work for you. Well, great. Okay, so any last words on that? All right. Good. Guys, listen, just a few more distinctions and a few more little tips and info. So hope you enjoyed that. Hope that all works for you. And thanks, Richard. Appreciate it, man. All right. We'll talk to you guys later.